So here we are with Grand Mixer D.St. Thank you very much, number one, for hip-hop. Thank you for inspiring the people of color down under, too. We don't have many leaders down under. And with the small population that we have, 27 million people, you can see the control they have down there. So, but thank you very much for hip-hop, and thank you for all the wonderful stuff that you've given us, from Herbie Hancock, So Why Is It Fresh, Crazy Cuts. Wow, thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
Now, were you the first one to cut So Why Is Shines the Beat? Who was the first to start that?
Yeah, me.
That was you.
I was the first one.
How was that discovered? Was that a mistake, that end part?
No, it's a collection of records we did. It was a five-record collection. The first 5 records recorded on celluloid for the hip-hop community. And one of them was Fab Five Freddy's Change the Beat.
Right.
And on the B side of it was a young lady named Ann Boyle, who did a French version of it. And because everyone preferred, I mean, Freddie's was good too, but because we were in a French environment, because she spoke French, and she just so happened to be good for the first time, her ever rapping was very good. People liked the B-side, so they named her B-side. And it was her side that people were playing, and at the end, it had This Stuff Is Really Fresh. Now, how that came about, because I was in the studio with Bill Laswell, Michael Beinhorn, another guy was in there, Roger Trilling, and the way we talked, that was part of our dialogue. This stuff is fresh, that's really fresh. And so the story goes that, I was saying fresh, I was saying that the line, that's really fresh, so Roger Trilling says it, and they use it to record This Stuff Is Really Fresh. That's what I was told after, I wasn't in the studio. Roger Trilling recorded it. However, that's how it came about.
Wow. Now,
that's the story. I'm not going to get into politics of how the terminology came about and all of that.
Now you're obviously inspired by many great artists when you were young, and just to have that feeling to be part of hip hop, working with great artists at that time, it would have been so exciting just to meet you. But for you and how you felt, it's such an honor and privilege to work with these great artists and come out, with just such wonderful tracks. You guys were ahead of your time. I mean, like what you were using back then, it was much more harder work. How did it go compared with today's studios?
Well, that record deal and me connecting with Bernard Zecri, who was part of the Celluloid Records, me connecting with them introduced me into literally being in a recording studio. Now, I grew up in a music environment, but everyone recorded at home. And so that was my introduction into a real professional recording studio. It wasn't in the house, wasn't an 8-track at home. Right. It was a professional recording studio.
Well, no Tascams.
No, and so well, yeah, there were Tascams too. Yes. But it was my introduction into that. However, my musical background was already established from me being around entertainers already. My mom is a singer. Just a slew of people who've been around, that were in entertainment. My sister was in show business, dancer, professional dancer, not no stripper. And so, I was around musicians my entire life. And so, here was a chance for me to express my skills. I'm actually a drummer. Right. And so, strangely enough, one of the first studio pieces of studio equipment that I was exposed to was the DMX drum machine. It was brand new. Wow. It just came out, and I just so happened to be in the studio, within the week of that becoming one of the staples of programming beats.
Amazing.
And I programmed my first like 3 or 4 beats. That same day I saw it.
Wow.
As a drummer, once I understood
Yes.
the mechanics of it, I started playing beats.
Wow. And it was all analog back then, wasn't it?
All analog.
All analog. That's amazing. And would you ever think that what you created back then would be played today? So did you think that at the time back then? What you were doing was futuristic, ahead of its time? And after you, if it wasn't for you guys, hats down, for you brothers, we wouldn't have nothing going on today. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
To answer your question, when you're creating music, I didn't say to myself, 30 years later, people are going to love this record. I just said, I want to do something that makes me feel good, and if it makes me feel good, I'm sure it'll make other people feel good, because we all dance to the same music, And so I had ideas and concepts that I did not have the technological skills to apply with the instruments in front of me, so I had to learn that at the same time of me trying to express myself. Some of the things I did, I kind of felt that it wasn't as good as I would have wanted it to be, because I did not have the technical skills as an engineer yet. And so I'm actually revisiting all of those first songs. I'm doing an album of all of those songs, Cuts It Up, Crazy Cuts, all of them. I'm doing them all over. And I'm doing them over because I did not have the skills at the time to express myself. I could not apply what was in my head properly, and now I can. And so we're gonna attack that. And I got some of the original guys, original Infinity rappers, KC and Shaheen. I got them back. Flyers Brewski, D.Rock. I'm bringing all of them back to record. But and to follow up on the question again is that, the technology was new to me, and so my mind was more focused on trying to understand the technology so I can apply my skills to it the best way I could with the understanding that
yes. Now your first turntables, what were that? Were they Sherwoods, or did you get 1200s for the first time? 1200s are still getting pressed today. The new ones came out last year. Hats down. Thank you, Technique.
Well, my first DJ pair of turntables was SL210s.
Wow.
Technique SL210s. And the reason why I got those, because I saw Flash play one day and it looked like that's what he had. And so Flash was a huge inspiration for me as a DJ. And so because of his skill set, I knew that I had to have similar gear to what Grandmaster Flash had because of his skill set. I knew my approach as a drummer was very rhythmic and as a musician, melodic. So I knew it was a lot of hands-on stuff. And Flash was a hands-on DJ. And so that's what made me use those turntables. But I'm not sure if they looked like 210s. But then I saw other DJs with the 210s. And so I just went along with what I saw other people using.
Wow, that's just amazing.